Alright, guys, yeah, I'm back now. This is the 12 dumbest criminals ever. Give you my reaction to this. I just got up, man. I'm so tired, man. Uh, but, yeah, I'll give you my reaction. Try to wake up here. Uh, the 12 dumbest criminals ever. Let's take a look. It's about 7 minutes long.
12 dumbest criminals ever. They're so stupid, they make this guy look like a genius. First up is Klaus Schmidt, a burglar who tried robbing a Berlin bank in 1995. What was the catch? He was deaf. Bank employees noticed him acting super strange during the robbery, and when he was asked if he needed a bag, he replied with, "You're damn right it's a real gun." So, they just casually set off the security alarm. Apparently, while it was going off, Schmidt was calm and oblivious to everything that was going on, until the police arrived and arrested him. What's even funnier is that later on, he tried suing the bank for exploiting his disability. I don't think this worked out too well for him. Number 11. In 2008, 18-year-old Ruben Zarate entered a Chicago muffler shop with a gun and demanded some money. Problem is, most of it was in a safe that only the manager could open, who wasn't even in at the time. So, this genius left his phone number with employees and told him to call later once the manager got back. Workers called police first, then called Zarate. Once he arrived, a load of cops were waiting there for him, and they had a little shootout. It eventually ended in Zarate's arrest. Number 10. This is Zachary Tentoni, who stole a woman's wallet in 2013 and left behind 2 bags of his own during the process. And you'll never guess what was in them. His birth certificate and a letter from his mom. Man, he made it so easy for the cops that this alone makes him deserve to go to jail. When officers were questioning him, he pretended he was someone else by giving a false name and birthday. But that obviously didn't work out too well since a victim was able to identify him pretty easily. Number 9. On March 23rd, 2010, Albert Bailey and his accomplice decided to rob a bank in Fairfield, Connecticut. But you know what? These fellas were courteous enough to call the bank beforehand and inform them of their robbery, with the intention of giving the employees enough time to get the money ready. Just a few minutes after the phone call, Bailey sent in his accomplice to collect the cash. But in the meantime, a bank employee was already on the phone with the police to let him know what was going on. I'm sure you can guess what happened next. Number 8. In 2011, the Derbyshire police lured in a bunch of criminals who had been evading arrest for some time by offering them some free beer. These guys thought, sure, why not? I love beer. 19 criminals tried collecting their winnings, but once they showed up to the pickup location, they were served a 6-pack of put you in prison Pilsner and lock you up lager. Number 7. So you'd think a good getaway vehicle is a must when pulling off a successful heist. Well, a group of thieves in Colombia decided to use a damn donkey. But wait, it gets better. The donkey was stolen about 12 hours before the main robbery, which actually went pretty smoothly. This group of idiots was able to successfully steal a bunch of rum and food from a convenience store, then loaded up the donkey with their goods. But when they tried getting away, the donkey acted up and refused to leave and made so much noise that it attracted a ton of attention from some nearby cops, which forced the robbers to flee on foot and leave behind all their stolen stuff. What's more is that the donkey was the one that ended up getting detained for about 12 hours before it was returned to its owner. Poor donkey. Number 6. Here are some deputies entering a convenience store at around 4 a.m. 4 officers in total. And here are Tweedledee and Tweedledum, entering the same store just a few seconds later. See Mr. D and Mr. Dumb run. They've got about $20 worth of stolen beer and snacks. Now see the deputies chasing them down. Is it just me, or does free booze seem like a common theme behind all these stupid criminals? Number 5. In March 2014, Melissa Peters was getting ready to take her son to school when 17-year-old whatever, let's just call him Double M. 17-year-old Double M held them up with a fake gun and tried stealing their car. But here's the catch. The car had a manual transmission, and Double M had no idea how to drive it. So, he ended up tinkering with it for a solid 7 minutes or so, and only managed to turn on its headlights and windshield wipers. In the meantime, a neighbor was on the phone with authorities, informing them of what was going on right in front of her very eyes. When the cops showed up about 8 minutes later, they found an empty car sliding away into a neighbor's yard where it knocked over a fence. They had no problem whatsoever chasing Double M down on foot and managed to tackle him no more than 2 blocks away. Not only can this kid not drive, but apparently he can barely run either. This was just a recipe for disaster. Number 4. British burglar Darren Kimpton broke into a house that had already been burglarized earlier that night. So when he arrived, there were already cops there interviewing the resident about the crime that occurred before Darren's break-in. On top of that, he also tried breaking into another nearby house that same day, and in doing so, managed to cut himself on some glass he broke and left blood at the scene, which cops used to link him to both burglaries. This, to me, is just plain sad. Number 3. This guy attempted robbing a bank in London armed with a gun in one hand and a loot bag in the other. He demanded 700,000 British pounds and intended on giving the teller his bag to fill it with money. I'm assuming the adrenaline rush of it all had him severely confused, because instead of handing over his bag, he gave the teller his gun instead. It took several seconds for it to actually sink in, and after a few awkward seconds of confused pause, he tried grabbing the gun back, but the teller was smart enough to back off and point it at him. He made a run for it and managed to snag a free bike on the way out, which he used to get away. Good effort, sir. Good effort. Number 2. 20-year-old Michael Baker is shown here siphoning gas from a cop car in Kentucky while giving the camera the finger. After successfully getting away with the prank, this young genius thought it'd be a good idea to post the photo on Facebook. Kensington police soon found out about it and pretty quickly took him to jail. And now for our number 1 dumbest criminal ever! For more videos, subscribe here. Meet Dennis Hawkins, a 48-year-old Pittsburgh man who shoplifted a BB gun from Kmart, then used it to rob a bank. But here's where it gets good. When he robbed the bank, he attempted to look like a girl by dressing in clown pants, fake boobs, and a blonde wig, all the while forgetting to shave his mustache and goatee. He did manage to successfully get away with some money, but it came fully enclosed with a hidden dye pack. Police were soon tipped off by a nearby gas station employee who called in to report a man fitting Hawkins' description and said he was attempting to steal a woman's parked car. The woman actually managed to run away frantically with her keys in hand. Police arrived shortly thereafter, only to find him still sitting in the car with exploded red dye all over his face. Epic fail. Be sure to check out our 10 most intense body parts by clicking here. Board Badger.
Wow. That was horrible. That was pretty good. Alright guys, that was my reaction. I'll talk to you later.